Any volunteer to light a candle? Anyone else? The last candle. Please be seated. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Before the meditation, let's do our regular chanting. Please turn to the page 5 of our chanting book. Salutation to the Buddha. Namo tasse bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhasse. Namo tasse bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhasse. Namo tasse bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhasse. The three refuges. Buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Saṅghaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Dutiyampi buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Dutiyampi dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Dutiyampi saṅghaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Tatiyampi buddhang sarenang gacchami Tatiyampi dhammang sarenang gacchami Tatiyampi sanghang sarenang gacchami. Next page. The 5 precepts. Panati pata viremani sikkhapadang samadhiyami adinādāna viremani sikkhapadang samadhiyami kāmesu micchācārā viremani sikkhapadang samadhiyami musāvādā viremani sikkhapadang samadhiyami surameraya majja pamadatthāna viremani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. On the opposite page, let's read the affirmative vows. Being aware of the suffering caused by the destruction of life, I vow to cultivate compassion and learn ways to protect the lives of all living beings. Being aware of the suffering caused by exploitation, stealing and oppression, I vow to respect the property of others and to practice generosity by sharing my time, energy and material resources with those who are in real need. Being aware of the suffering caused by sexual misconduct, I vow to respect my commitments and those of others. I am determined not to engage in relations without love and long-term commitment. Being aware that words can create suffering, I vow to learn to speak truthfully and develop peaceful, kind and meaningful speech. Being aware of the suffering that an intoxicated and agitated mind can produce, I vow to develop mindfulness and heedfulness. Next page. Homage to the Buddha. Itipiso bhagavā arahang samma sambuddho vijñācarana sampanno sugato lokavidu anuttaro purisa dhamma sārati sattā deva manusānaṁ buddho bhagavāti. Homage to the Dhamma. Swakkhāto bhagavata dhammo sanditthiko akaliko ehi patsiko opanayiko paccattāng veditabbo viññuhiti. Homage to the Sangha. Supatipanno bhagavato sāvaka sangho Ujjupatipanno bhagavato sāvaka sangho Ñāyapatipanno bhagavato sāvaka sangho සාමීචි පටිපන්නෝ භගවතු සාවක සංඝෝ යදිදං චත්තාරි පුරිස යුගානි අත්ථ පුරිස පුංගලා ඊස භගවතු සාවක සංඝෝ ආහුනියෝ පාහුනියෝ දක්ඛිනියෝ අංජලි කරණියෝ අනුත්තරං පුඤ්ඤක් කෙත්තං ලෝකස්සාති සාදු සාදු සාදු. Next page. Offerings. Offering of light. Ganesarappaditene දීපේන තමදං සිනා තිලෝක දීපං සම්බුද්ධං පූජයාමි තමෝනුදං. Offering of incense. Gandha sambharayuttene Dupinahang sugandina Pujaye pujaniyang tang Puja bhajana muttamang. Offering of flowers. Vannagandhe gunopitang etang kusuma santating pujayami munindatse siripade saruruhe pujemi buddhang kusumena nene punyena etena labhami mokkhaṃ uppang milayati yathāidang me kāyo tatāyati vināsa bhāvaṃ. Offering of water. Adhivasi tunu bhanti paniyang parikampitang anukampang upadaya patigan hatu uttama. Offering of drinks. Adhivasi tunu bhanti gilana paccayang imang anukampang upadaya patigan hatu uttama. Worship of shrines. Vandami citiyang sabbang sabbthani supatittitang saririka dhatu mahabuding buddha rupang sakalang sada. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Next page. Wish of well-being. Iccheva matchanta namatse niyang Namaste Manu Rate Nante Yang Yang Punyabhi Sandang Vipulang Alatang Tasanubhavine Hatante Rayo Reflections on the teachings of the Buddha in English. Mind is the forerunner of all experiences. Mind is chief. Mind made are they. If one speaks or acts with an impure mind, suffering follows like the wheel that follows the foot of the ox. Mind is the forerunner of all experiences. Mind is chief. Mind made are they. If one speaks or acts with the pure mind, happiness follows like one's own shadow that never leaves. Generosity, kind words, benevolent actions towards others, and equanimity towards all beings and all things. These bonds of sympathy function in the world like the linchpin in a moving cart. One by one, little by little, moment by moment, wise people should remove their impurities as a smith removes the dross from silver. For one who mindfully develops boundless loving kindness, mental defilements are weakened and the freedom from clinging is seen. All conditioned things are impermanent. When one sees this with wisdom, one turns away from suffering. This is the path to purification. All conditioned things are unsatisfactory. When one sees this with wisdom, one turns away from suffering. This is the path to purification. All things are not self. When one sees this with wisdom, one turns away from suffering. This is the path to purification. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Good evening to all our spiritual friends. So I welcome you all for our center for this meditation session. As usual, you are here to practice meditation. Wednesday is our meditation day. So you are going to spend around 2 hours in this session. Maybe around 40 minutes in practicing meditation. So as a preparation, let's now adjusting our body. We can sit properly and comfortably. We did our chanting as a preparation for meditation. Just after chanting, now you are in a relaxed posture. Although you are spending a very busy life, you spend this moment to observe yourself, to feel the spirituality within yourself. So you are here to practice meditation. You made the decision to join this meditation, to come to this meditation, to spend these few minutes practicing this meditation. So first of all, you can rejoice yourself. Rejoice the decision that you have made to come to this center, to practice this meditation. Deeply appreciate yourself, taking a moment. Deeply appreciating yourself, you can make a determination before you bring your awareness into the meditation. The determination is that I will engage in a committed practice. I will make use of this wholesome guidance, this wholesome wisdom, this wholesome teaching. I will engage in a committed practice wholeheartedly. Make that determination now. With that determination, listen to the sound of the bell and the chant that we are doing. The sound of the bell and the chant will help you to settle your mind, to gather your attention into this present moment. Until the end of the sound of the bell and the chant, be with the sound. You can chant with me. Namo Buddhaya. We just chanted Namo Buddhaya. It means pay homage to the Buddha, the supreme teacher. You are in front of the Buddha. Everything is peaceful, quiet and calm. You are peaceful. You are relaxed. Feel in this calm and peaceful environment. Settle down right here, relaxing your body and adjusting your body into a comfortable meditative posture. Be right here. Try to keep your upper body upright and chin somewhat parallel to the floor. Your both palms are resting on your lap, right palm on the top of left palm. And you are keeping your both eyes closed gently. This is your meditative posture. Now feel your entire body. How you are keeping your body. Feel your whole body from the top of your head to the tips of your toes. From the tips of your toes to the tips of your fingers. Feel each and every parts of the body and relax. Relax your body. Feel your feet, heels, sole of the feet, the toes. Feel your lower leg, upper leg. Upper and lower back muscles, belly muscles, chest muscles, and relax. Feel your chest area and both shoulders. Take a deep breath slowly. Hold it for a while and slowly breathe out. While you are breathing out, feel the relaxation in your upper body. Feel your upper arms, lower arms, palms, fingers, and fingertips. The way that you are keeping your palms and fingers, you can feel the fingers are touching each other. Feel that touching sensation in between your fingers. Feel your neck area, your facial muscles. Invite a gentle smile into your face and feel the relaxation in your facial muscles. Feel your forehead and the top of your head and relax. Relax your body. Relax your body. Relax your body. You are relaxed. Now it's time to notice your mind, where your mind is right now. And observe what is really happening in your mind in this moment. You are physically here. You are in this sitting posture. You are practicing meditation. What is going on in your mind? Thoughts. That's it. Observe all these thoughts without any judgment or cultivating any of these thoughts. Observe mindfully and notice them. Even though you are practicing this meditation in this moment, various types of thoughts may occur in your mind. Thoughts arise in your mind in many forms, such as memories, people, objects, ideas. Even in this moment, this happens. Mindfully observe. They are just thoughts, 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 not the real things happening in front of you right now. Notice all these thoughts. Some thoughts are wholesome, some thoughts are unwholesome. Some thoughts are pleasant, some thoughts are unpleasant. Some thoughts arise related to past or future or present. No matter what they are, you no need to suppress of occurring these thoughts. Just any thought occur, but mindfully observe. Not allowing to the thoughts to drag you from your meditative posture. They are just thoughts, one after the other. Thoughts are arising. Sometimes the same thought occur again and again. Observing and noticing the thoughts, you understand the nature of your mind and how thoughts arise in your mind. With this understanding, now let's generate wholesome thoughts in our minds. Intentionally, we can cultivate positive thoughts, wholesome thoughts, good wishes in our minds. Instead of these random thoughts, let's cultivate wholesome thoughts. In this meditation, we are cultivating the thoughts of loving kindness, thoughts of loving friendliness, to wish everyone else to be well, to be happy, to be peaceful. Loving kindness, that is the unconditional love. It is the universal friendliness. Wishing goodwill for all beings. You can cultivate this unconditional love. You have that capacity within. You have that potential in your mind to cultivate boundless loving kindness to all beings. You can start from yourself to make the wishes of loving kindness for yourself. As an individual, think about yourself, the person sitting right here, this being. Think about your body, your mind, and your life. Genuinely make the wishes of loving kindness for yourself. Mindfully listen to the guidance. Repeat the praises of loving kindness in your mind and cultivate your loving kindness for yourself. May I be well. May I be happy. May I be peaceful. Be peaceful. Be peaceful. May I be safe. Be healthy. Be healed. Be healed. Be healed. May my mind be well. Be healthy. Be healed. Be peaceful. Be peaceful. Be peaceful. May I have a happy mind. May I have a happy mind. May I have a happy mind. Generate loving kindness more and more and radiate throughout your body. Radiate loving kindness into each and every parts of the body, into all the systems, internal functions, and the organs of the body. May my body be healthy, be healthy, be healed, be healed, be healed. May the skin of my body be healed, be healed, be healed. Penetrate in the skin. Radiate your loving kindness into the muscles of the body. May all the muscles of my body be healthy, be healthy, be healed, be healed, be healed. Radiate loving kindness into the bones of the body. May the bones of my body be healthy, be healthy, be healed, be healed, be healed. Radiate loving kindness into all the internal systems and the organs of the body. Even in this moment, they are functioning. They are functioning for you to maintain your healthy life. Deeply appreciate that support and radiate loving kindness into all the systems, including the respiratory system, the vital function of the body, the cardiovascular system, cardiac muscles, the digestive system, the genitourinary system, the central nervous system, peripheral nervous system, the immune system, the brain, the sensory faculties, the eyes, ears, nose, and tongue. May all the systems and the organs of my body be healthy, be healthy, Be healed. Be healed. Be healed. May I have a healthy body. May I have a healthy body. May I have a healthy body. May I be well. May I be happy. May I be peaceful. Be peaceful. Be peaceful. Observe your mind. You are generating loving kindness. You extended the wishes of loving kindness for yourself. The loving kindness you are generating is boundless, no limits. Now it's time to expand your loving kindness beyond yourself. The same wishes of loving kindness to all others, to all other beings. That is your genuine loving kindness. Without exception to everyone else. Now let's extend our wishes of loving kindness. Let's start from right here. Think about all these friends who are with you to practice the same meditation. Let's share our loving kindness with each other. May all these friends be well, be happy, be peaceful, be peaceful, be peaceful. May all these spiritual friends who are practicing this meditation with me and who are joining from faraway places right now be healthy, be healthy, be healed, be healed, be healed. While you are extending the wishes of loving kindness to all these friends, feel the loving kindness they are sending for you. May you be well, be happy, be peaceful, be peaceful, be peaceful. Now let's expand our loving kindness beyond this room. You can think about your beloved ones in your life, your family members, relatives, friends, neighbors, co-workers, anyone else in your life. Think about them and make these genuine wishes of loving kindness for them. May all my family members, relatives, friends, neighbors be well, be happy, be peaceful, be peaceful, be peaceful. May all of them be safe, be healthy, be healed, be healed, be healed. Now let's expand our loving kindness beyond the circle of beloved ones. There are so many other beings, not only human beings. We can extend our wishes of loving kindness to all the other animals, to all the other creatures, any living organism. Visible or invisible, living near or far away places. Even in this moment, there are so many beings who are suffering due to many conditions. Let's make our genuine wish of loving kindness for them to be free from suffering, to be free from fear, to have peaceful and happy minds. May all beings living in this neighborhood be well, be happy, be peaceful, be peaceful, be peaceful. May all beings living in neighboring neighborhoods in this city, in this country, in this world, in this universe be well, be happy, be peaceful, be peaceful, be peaceful. May all beings be safe, be healthy, be healed, be healed, be healed. Extend your wishes of loving kindness into every direction. Sitting right here, expand your loving kindness into the direction of the front, back, left, right, above and below. May all beings living in every direction be well, be happy, be peaceful, be peaceful, be peaceful. May all beings have happy minds. May all beings have happy minds. May all beings have happy minds. Repeat it in your mind and generate your boundless loving kindness to all beings. May all beings have happy minds. May all beings have happy minds. May all beings have happy minds. Observe your mind. Your mind is full of loving kindness. Loving kindness has made your mind peaceful. Enjoy the peace within. You are peaceful. You are relaxed. Now, with your peaceful mind, gently move your attention into your breath. To practice breathing meditation as a silent meditation, you will be practicing the breathing meditation for coming next few minutes. As a preparation, if you have changed your posture, try to keep your upper body upright, keeping your chin somewhat parallel to the floor. Take few deep breaths, some slow deep breaths, and slowly release the air through your nostrils. Keep your awareness around your nostrils and your upper lip, where you can feel your in breath and out breath. Feel the area in between your upper lip and nostrils. Feel your both shoulders, your chest area, while you are breathing in and while you are breathing out. Then you can slowly come back into your normal breath. Mindfully breathe in and mindfully breathe out. Keep your awareness in the process of the breath, the whole process of breath. Be with your breath. in these last few minutes. Make your full effort to be with the breath. Mindfully breathe in, mindfully breathe out. Before we conclude our meditation, let's take five mindful breaths. Dukkhappatthāca niddukkha bhayappatthāca nibbhaya. Sukhappatthāca nissukha. Hontu sabbepi panino. May all those who are suffering be free from suffering. May all those who are in fear be free from fear. May all those who are grieving be free from grief. May all beings be well and happy. Gently come out of the meditation and gently bring your palms together and place them against your chest. And let's take a moment to feel grateful for this opportunity to have this peaceful meditation in our life. And let's deeply feel grateful to all the enlightened masters and the teachers in the past who transmitted this practice, this wisdom from generation to generation. And you can appreciate the guidance and the instructions you received for your meditation today. And let's deeply feel grateful to anyone else who helped us to come to this center to join this meditation, who cleaned and arranged this place for you, who are taking care of this center for you. Let's deeply feel grateful for them. Even these non-living things we are using for meditation. Let's appreciate that support, the cushion, the chair you are sitting on, this bell, the device which helped to connect to this meditation from home. So with deep gratitude and appreciating the support, to conclude our meditation, let's say sadhu 3 times together. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay. Right. Now it's our discussion time. Before we go to our discussion, Bhante Pema is joining from Las Vegas Buddhist Temple. So he will be here for our discussion. But before we go our discussion, if you have anything, any sharings, any comments, any questions. But it seems like they have done meditation well. So we can directly go to the discussion.
Thank you, Bante, for the guidance. We all followed it, and I'm glad that we had very fruitful meditation. Hopefully, you can hear me, right? Can you hear me?
Yes,
Okay. So we had a nice Vesak celebration here in Las Vegas, North Las Vegas. So it was a nice gathering, and we did a one whole day, half-day retreat, and then evening celebration of um, actually coincide with the Mother's Day celebration too last Sunday. So children took time to appreciate their mothers, and they actually offered or handed over flowers to mothers, and then they paid their gratitude and respect. And so it was a nice celebration. So before we go into our discussion today, I would like to share with you. Yes, day before yesterday was actually was yeah it's Monday. We went to the strip of Las Vegas just to see the many buildings and so many things there. So when we were walking on the streets, a group of people approached us, and so I think those people they might have seen the monks for the first time during the peace walk, I think. So they came and asked the question. There were about 15 of you. What happened to the rest? Why only two came to visit here? So that was the question they asked. So they thought that we were part of the peace work, and then we came to Las Vegas. So we had to explain them. But at least I'm glad that many people are now aware of monks because of the peace work. So I'm very grateful to the monks who actually made that extraordinary journey from Dallas, Texas to Washington D.C. So that is an interesting experience we had. Okay, so coming to our discussion, and we are learning the chanting book, and we are learning the homage to the Buddha, the chant we do to pay homage to the Buddha, and then there. So we just started, I think, last week. So in that verse, which is in page number, Bhante, which page number it is? Should be, I think, eight, Page 8, right? Yeah. Yeah. So in page 8, you find that, homage to the Buddha. So we want to like deeply understand each qualities of the Buddha, and particularly during this month. This is the Vesak month. So therefore, it's really important we spend some time learning about the Buddha and what we really mean. What is this? What is the nature of the Buddha? So it's a very appropriate topic. So today we are in the second quality, so which we call Samma Sambuddha. So I prepared a short PowerPoint for us to, see clearly the quality that we are going to study. Samma Sambuddho. It is in Pali, Samma Sambuddho. And then the translation given in the text, I think fully self-awake. So term Samma here means perfectly. And then Sambuddho means self-awakened. So that's the meaning of this term. I think we discussed this term when we study the salutation to the Buddha. The very first chant we do when we are when we salute the Buddha, people when we chant Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. And so we learn that college too. I think, but it's still today we will explore it a little bit more. So that is, but what we really mean by awaken, self-awaken, perfectly self-awaken. This is one of the key qualities of the Buddha. So the awakened means awakened to the true nature of our life by himself. So one is, so the interesting thing about the Buddha is that he was awakened to this reality of life by himself without without really following a teaching of someone else. He did his own experiments in his own search, in his own practice. And then, of course, there were trial and errors too in his journey. And then ultimately, he was awakened to the true nature of our life, or true nature of reality by himself. When it says Sam Buddha, that means self-awakened. Samma means perfectly. So, in other words, the true nature of our life is expressed or explained later by the Buddha as Four Noble Truths. And there is one aspect of the reality that he was awakened to in his attainment of enlightenment, in his training of his mind, in his sharpening of his mind. He was, was able to awaken these Four Noble Truths. And then the Four Noble Truths simply says that how suffering arises in our mind and how to overcome it. So in his deeper deeper meditation, in his deeper investigation and exploration, he realized and he discovered the real mechanism of suffering, exactly how suffering arises in human mind and how we can overcome it. So then he explained his realization. So this is like one main thing that he was awakened to. When he says self-awakened, he was awakened to this reality happening within all of us. We are all experiencing um, experiencing what you call suffering, or otherwise maybe dissatisfaction or unhappiness. And then and he really fleshed it out. He really discovered the mechanism behind it. So the important realization in the awakening that he had was what we call dukkha, or is not created by others. Um, it's not created by others. We cannot really, of course, others mainly not created by other powers, not created by someone else influence or will. And definitely there are even not created by others, means not created by things or people around us. Definitely what people and the conditions around us play a part in it, uh, but it's not caused by them. And of course, there can be difficult situations that we have to deal with. There can be, challenging physical conditions that we have to deal with. There can be, challenging people that we have to deal with. But the real dukkha is not completely created by them. So we cannot really say that it's created by others. But at the same time, it's also not self-created. This is other important discovery we made. It's not really, when you say it's not other created, it doesn't mean that we create our own suffering by ourselves. Definitely, there's a bigger role that we play in experiencing this suffering, but it's not completely self-created. It's not other created. It's not completely other created. It's also not completely self-created. At the same time, it's also not random, or it's not an accident. It's not random. It's not really something happened by chance, but it is causally produced. It's a causally produced phenomenon. All our experiences, mainly the dukkha, the dissatisfaction and unhappiness, and all other experiences, also are causally produced. There are causes and conditions, number of causes and conditions that produce this experience. Particularly when it comes to unhappiness or dukkha, it is a causal product, mainly caused by um, many conditions, including craving and ignorance and many other conditions. So it's a creation, it's a result of a number of causes and conditions. So that is the important aspect of the discovery. So there, because it is causally produced, it can be overcome. Because if you understand the causes and conditions that give rise to this experience, when we change these causes and conditions, and then we can change the dukkha, or unhappiness and dissatisfaction. And that is exactly what Buddha is, asking us to do. Understand the fact that we have this state of unhappiness, and then that it is causally produced, and understand the causes and conditions, and then try to change those causes and conditions through the practice, and then as a result you can overcome that suffering. So that's what we mean by it's awakened to the Four Noble Truths. Um, and then the other important aspect of this awakening is is to uh, to really awaken to the very process of experience. Normally, in our normal mind, at the ordinary level, we assume the world to exist as we experience it. We assume, whatever around us, whatever see, whatever smell and taste, whatever we experience the world, we assume that world exists as we experience it, even though we are not there. At the same time, we also assume a permanent I who is experiencing the world. So this is, at the ordinary level, these are the two things that we like taken for granted. We believe in the world, we believe that world exists as we experience it, as we experience through our senses. We believe that that is exactly the world exists. And then also we assume a permanent experiencer, the permanent I. But Buddha was awakened to the very process of experience. And the assumption of the external world and believing that the world exists as we experience it is a result of the experience. And assuming a permanent I who's experienced the world is also a result of the experience. But the very process of the experience is kind of hidden to us. So he was awakened to the very process of experience, which makes this world and the I possible. So when we really pay attention to the very process of experience, what we realize is that both the subject and the object is a co-creation. It's a co-creation. So both the I and the world exist interdependently. And that's also a little bit deeper fact, but this is also very important realization, it was awakening he had. When you say Samma Sambuddha, the perfectly self-awakened, and these are the some of the aspects of the reality that he was awakened to. And in this month, actually, we are discussing today in the month of Vesak. And so the other important part of that, the solution Buddha had given to us with regard to this problem of suffering is that, usually, the impermanence and instability and constant change is the nature of the experience. So the Buddha did not see the impermanence or change in stability we experience in the world. Also, even with regard to our body, for example, our old age, we are dying, our death, and any other change happening in the world. Um, and and those things are seen by the Buddha not as problems in life, but actually that is the very nature of the experience. For anything to exist means it has to interdependent on many things. Therefore, the constant change, impermanence, instability is the parts and parcel of the life, parts and parcel of the experience. So therefore, the cause of suffering in Buddhist understanding, the Buddha's awakening, is not the instability, it's not the impermanence. And that is the core of the existence. If anything to exist, it has to move and change and depend on so many things. So, but the cause of suffering is not the instability, not the impermanence, not the change, but it is actually craving for the opposite. The craving for the stability, the craving for the permanence is the problem. It's not the world that is problem, but it is the expectations of the opposite, or maybe we can say unrealistic expectation. So there's a craving for stability, or the craving for stability of pleasure, for example. The craving for the stability of self is the problem, not the instability, but the craving for stability. So the solution to this problem, as Buddha discovered, is not believing in a future, or maybe future possibility of stability. That is one common solution that human beings have found. They find this instability of pleasure, instability of experience, instability of everything else around us is as a problem. So, but the solution that human beings have come up with, that, or even though it is not perfect now, that there is a perfect world somewhere else. So solution is believing in a future possibility of the stability. So right now, we are dying. Right now, we are getting old. Right now, things are collapsing. But that is the kind of fallen state. But there is a perfect state somewhere, and then we will get there. That is one common solution that we have given as human beings. But what we but what the Buddha discovered, and what the Buddhist solution to this problem is actually not really believing in a possibility of stability in future, but actually the radical acceptance of the very impermanence as part of life. It is like I mean, I have this image of river. It's a very good example for us to understand. If you think that the river is constantly moving and flowing and changing and shifting, it's not never the same, even for a single moment. And if you think that that is a problem, and then you wish river to be stable, perfect, like a frozen river, and we are really having an unrealistic explanation. In order to it to be river, it has to flow. So in the same way, in order for us to exist, in order for the existence to happen, it has to move, it has to flow, just like the river. Therefore, so rather than expecting a frozen river, or rather than expecting that one day the river will be frozen and will be, stable, rather than doing that, if we accept the river as the flow and is okay with that flow, and that will be the kind of solution. So the radical acceptance of the instability as part of the life is the solution the Buddha suggested. So that is part of the Four Noble Truths. So that is what we mean by the awakening, the self-awakening. And there's an interesting, a simile given by the Buddha about actually himself in one important sutta called Viranja Sutta. There Buddha talked about himself. He's giving a simile of hatching the egg. He said that, so too Brahmin, in a population immersed in ignorance, become like an egg, completely enveloped. I have pierced the eggshell of ignorance. So the Buddha see that the ignorance, that means ignorance doesn't mean the foolishness. Ignorance means that we are ignoring, we are not seeing, we are blind to the very process of the experience. We are blind to the what is truly happening within us. Our attention is always outward. Therefore, we don't really see what is happening inside. So therefore, we are almost like everyone is like eggshell. So the ignorance or inability to directly notice or directly see the process of experience, or like we can, but we don't really pay attention that much. So we are generally blind to the very process of the experience. So it is like, according to the Buddha, it's like an eggshell. We are all enveloped in eggshell. We only see what is inside. So what Buddha said that, as an enlightened, when the awakening happened to him, he pierced through the eggshell of ignorance and was able to have an awakening, have an opening of his mind and truly realize that how exactly we experience the world, how we construct the I and how we construct the world, and then how the suffering arises. And so he said, I have pierced the eggshell of ignorance, and I am the solo person in the world who has awakened to the unsurpassed perfect enlightenment. So I am the eldest, the foremost in the world. But this is before Buddha guided others to become enlightened, and there were many other disciples, many other people who follow the guidance of the Buddha and follow the Four Noble Truth and Noble Eightfold Path and became awakened like the Buddha himself. But he's saying that before anyone become enlightened, he's the solo person. But he's also the person who, for the first time, pierced the eggshell of ignorance for this particular time period. So therefore, he can be called the eldest or the foremost in the world. So that shows the the awakening of the Buddha. So that is what we mean by Samma Sambuddho. Samma means perfectly. Sambuddho means self-awakened. And he was, through his own practice, through his long, committed, dedicated practice, and he was able to awaken the true drama happening within us, and to the process of experience, to the mechanism of suffering, and then how we can overcome it. Okay, so that's what we mean by Samma Sambuddha. Any questions from that, or comments, or questions, or more clarification?
So, how did he pierce the eggshell? Was that just by realizing that by staying in the moment that's present is the only way to escape suffering? Was that how?
Bante, I didn't really hear that well.
You could come a little bit closer.
Oh, come up here. So when In the one slide, it said that he pierced the eggshell of suffering and left ignorance. Was that through realizing that staying in the present moment by not seeking out like another reality, that by staying there, was that how he did that?
Exactly. I think that's the beginning. That is the beginning of the whole process. Yes, exactly. So and then accepting the reality as it is as experience, and then he calm his mind, he settle his mind, because our normal mind that is moving from one thing to the other, like distracted mind really cannot really see what is really happening, in front of us or within us. So first he accept the reality and be mindful, and then he calm his mind through his breath, paying attention to the breath, to the very settled and serene, stable level of the mind, what you call samadhi. And once you reach that kind of, stillness, stability, then you can use that stable mind to really turn in, and then notice the whole process happening within us. Yeah, I think what you said, that is exactly the beginning of the whole journey of awakening.
Thank you.
Okay. what our friends think about this, call it the Samma Sambuddha. I mean, of course, following the teachings of the Buddha, we are also in our own journey to have that awakening within ourselves. Um, we may have not completely pierced the eggshell of ignorance, but I'm sure that you have begun to poke it.
I could think of a few examples myself, but what are some of the ways you think people most commonly escape like their own reality?
Even escape their own reality.
Sure.
Yeah. Maybe one way will be distracting oneself um, by finding another indulgence. I mean, that's like, as ordinary human being, sometimes we confront with a difficult situation, difficult experience, even painful experience. We rather than try to like understand it, transcend it, we try to like first reject it or deny it or sometimes distract ourselves. I think what you mean by escaping the reality, one escape will be rather than really learning from it and using it as an opportunity to like penetrate, and we try to like escape it. So that's common. That's what have been. That's what most majority of the people have been doing. So your question is that what are the common ways? Maybe we can ask from our friends. One common way I find that we will try to find maybe even like using different substances, like different types of drugs or addictions, like substances or any forms of indulgence could be one way of escaping the reality. What others think about? Any other ways coming to your mind?
I mean, isn't the search for nirvana, isn't that almost an idea of losing yourself, like becoming something more than just an I? Like, is that what the idea of nirvana is, to almost lose yourself and kind of escape this reality in a sense?
he's talking about something like ultimate reality, because about nirvana. Nirvana is not losing I, maybe the weave of I, right, Bhante? Or
Yes,
the
Bhante?
vision. Our friend is talking about, I think so, maybe the ultimate reality about nirvana.
Mm. Yeah. So it is one way to understand is the unconditioned state. Like, right now our mind is conditioned. Our mind is conditioned. That means we understand everything through the previous conditionings, habits and patterns and perceptions, categories. So it's a conditioned state of the mind. So once we train ourselves and unlearn all these conditionings, and one way to understand will be the unconditioned state of the mind. And such a state will be completely absence of ignorance and craving.
It's not Bhante, nirvana is not losing oneself, right, Bhante? You
Uh,
losing, right? Not losing oneself. There's nothing to lose actually, right, Bhante? Nirvana.
Maybe losing the assumption of a permanence.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you. Yeah. I think in Buddhist tradition, the value of the awakening of the Buddha lies in the fact that one of us did it. So the value of the teachings of the Buddha is not, lies on the fact that it came from some other higher power. The value of the teaching of the Buddha is that it's so wonderful. One of us did it. Like when you think about that eggshell, we all are inside that eggshell, or one of us were able to through the practice, through the long practice, maybe even more than one lifetimes, and pierce it. It's quite similar to what was that movie that we talk about in everyone in a dream, and someone woke up.
The Matrix.
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah. Maybe that may be very mundane. That may be not the perfect example, but a very good example to understand what we mean by Samma Sambuddho. The awakening, happened to the Buddha. We are all a kind of state of a dream state. Like not a completely dream in that sense, but half dream state. And then simply believing in all our assumptions, rather than really exploring it. We simply accept and believe in our assumption and live the life as it is, as with all these assumptions. I think what Buddha did was really questioning even the very basic assumptions and even the very fact of the subject. Very obvious fact of the subject of the experience. So and he started like really explore it rather than assuming it, and then have this discovery. Okay, Bhante.
Yeah, it's one more question, Bhante.
Hi, Bhante.
Hello, yeah, nice to see you, Nanda.
Oh,
Yes.
here? Yeah, you know.
So, in some of the books I read, they talk about attaining nibbana in this very life. So, if I'm guessing that would be the arahant, but the arahant doesn't attain unconditioned existence in this life. But does the arahant get like a different kind of mind, so that they lose the expectations and then lose the dukkha? Get liberated from dukkha that way? Is that
Actually, becoming an arahant is already So you say that it not will not achieve freedom from suffering, you mean?
Right. Is the Arahant free from suffering?
Definitely, that's the very definition of being around. Just like the Buddha. Of course, there are difference between the Buddha and the Arahant. The difference will be the Buddha himself will have many other skills to teach. But becoming Arahant is gradually going to the same awakening and also removing and eradicating different layers and layers and layers of defilements. So once his mind attain that a state of no craving, and is already free from suffering. And even before becoming Arahant, there are other stages. He's gradually removing the defilements to the level of removal of different layers of the defilements is already kind of eradicated some levels of suffering. So the more defilements we overcome, the more layers of suffering also going away. And once you reach the Arahanthood, which means complete eradication of all forms of defilements, and then there is no cause for suffering to arise.
So when the Buddha died, the Buddha experienced pain. Is that correct? But didn't experience suffering.
Even before die, I mean, when he was like living his life, he's living through his body, right? And then he talked about when he's quite old, how his body is is not really behaving the way how he's having all different pains. Yeah, I mean, even the Buddha and also Arahants, once they attain the enlightenment, and then of course, and from that point onwards, they will live through the body, and then they will also have the same experience we had through natural elements, and then also what is happening in the body, and they have sensations. They have sensation, but they'll be very different way that they experience them. So we can call them they're having pain, but they are not having suffering.
Thank you.
That's an interesting difference between uncomfortable sensation and suffering.
So like Bhante Rahula says that it's like suffering is pain plus resistance.
Exactly.
Okay.
So if the resistance is zero, there'll be no suffering, right? Yeah, exactly.
Okay, Bhante.
Okay, Bande. So yeah, we can move to the next part of the program. I think it's so important in this month we try to understand exactly who is the Buddha, and then what was the process, what were the qualities of the Buddha, and today we learn one important quality, actually one key, more key quality, and that should, create more encouragement in us, more enthusiasm, more in us to come into practice, and we are all in a journey to crack the eggshell ultimately. So I hope that we will all have encouragement to do that. Thank you.
Thank you, Bhante. Thank you. So let's turn to page 14 and let's chant together. Transference of merit to departed relatives. Idammi ñāti nang hotu sukhita huntu ñāteyo. Idammi ñāti nang hotu sukhita huntu ñāteyo. Idammi ñāti nang hotu sukhita huntu ñāteyo. Transference of merits to sentient beings. Ittavata ca amhehi sambhatang punya sampadang sabbe deva anumodantu sabbe sampatti siddhiya sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabbe sampatti siddhiya sabbe satta anumodantu sabbe sampatti siddhiya. Wish for the well-being of the world in English. May the weather be pleasing.
May the people prosper in their lives. May there be peace and happiness in the world. May the rulers be righteous. May all those who are suffering be free from suffering. May all those who are in fear be free from fear. May all those who are in grief be free from grief. May all beings be well and happy. Aspiration. May this wholesome act quicken the liberation of my mind from mental defilements. By virtue of this wholesome act, may I never follow the unwise people. May I associate with good people until I attain Nibbana. Purification. If by body, speech, or mind I have carelessly done wrong, I acknowledge them all in front of the Tathagata of great wisdom and determine to be heedful. Okay, now we are doing our blessing service. We will be chanting Karaniya Metta Sutra, originally uttered by the Buddha with great compassion to all living beings. So we wish you that you also receive the blessings of the great compassion of the Buddha. With these blessings, may you all be well, happy, receive good health and healing. And you may also recall to your mind whoever you want to share these blessings with your family members, relatives, friends, people who are sick. Recall them to your mind and share these blessings with them too. May you all receive these blessings. May all of you be well, happy, and peaceful. Namo Tassa Bhagavatu Arahatu Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavatu Arahatu Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavatu Arahatu Samma Sambuddhassa. Karaniya Matta Kusalena Yantang Santang Padang Abhisamecce Sakko Juce Sujuce Suacho Chanse Mudu Anatimani Santunse Koche Subharoche Apte Kinchoche Sallavuka Unti Santindriyoche Nipekoche Apte Gambo Kulesu Ananugindo Nache Kundang Samachare Kinchi Yene Vinyu Pare Upavadeyung Sukino Vake Mino Hontu Sabbe Santa Bhavantu Sukitanta Ye Kechipane Bhutanti Tasava Dhavarava Anavasesa Digava Ye Mahantava Manjimaransa Kanukatula Dittava eva additta ece dure vasanti avidure bhutava sambhavi siva sabbe satta bhavantu sukhitanta Naparo parang nikubbete nati mangyete katanta jinang kanchi vyarosena patigha sanyānānya manyatsa dukkha micciye Mata yata niyang puttang ayusae ke putte manurakki vampi sabbe bhuti sumane sangbhavaye aparimanang Mittanca sabba lokasmin mane sangbhavaye aparimanang uddhang adoca tiriyanca asambadhang avirang asapantang Titthaṃ carang nisinno vāsayāno vāyāvatapsa vigata middho etaṃ satiṃ aditteye brahmametaṃ vihāraṃ idhamahu දිට්ඨිං ච අනුපගම්ම සීලවා දස්සනේන සම්පන්නෝ කාමේසු විනය්‍යගේ දං නහි ජාතු ගබ්බසෙයං පුනරේති ඒතේන සච්ච වජ්ජේන සොත්තිතේ හෝතු සම්බදා ඒතේන සච්ච වජ්ජේන සම්බ රෝගෝ විනස්සතු ඒතේන සච්ච වජ්ජේන හෝතු තේ ජය මංගලං සබ්බීතියෝ විවජ්ජන්තු සබ්බ රෝගෝ විනස්සතු මාතේ භවත්වන්තරායෝ සුඛී දීඝායුකෝ භව භවතු සබ්බ මංගලං රක්ඛන්තු සබ්බ දේවතා සබ්බ බුද්ධානුභාවේන සදා සොත්ති භවන්තු තේ භවතු සබ්බ මංගලං රක්ඛන්තු සබ්බ දේවතා සබ්බ ධම්මානුභාවේන සදා සොත්ති භවන්තු තේ භවතු සබ්බ මංගලං රක්ඛන්තු සබ්බ දේවතා සබ්බ සංඝානුභාවේන සදා සොත්ති භවන්තු Let's spend a moment of reflection. Reflect your own good deeds, kind deeds. Whenever you have done whatever kind deeds in which you helped someone during last few days, let's rejoice those kind deeds. Please repeat after me. On this day or in the past, if I have done kind deeds to other beings with my body, speech or mind, whether great or little, here before the Buddha, I call to mind those kind deeds and let my heart rejoice. I rejoice in those kind deeds, appreciating the opportunity to be helpful to others. I rejoice in those kind deeds, wishing more opportunities to practice compassion. I rejoice in those kind deeds, resolving not to compare myself with others. I rejoice in those kind deeds and gladly share this joy with all beings everywhere. May my kind deeds relieve the burdens of other beings. May my kind deeds shield me from all dangers and pain. May my kind deeds and merits that come from them help me in freeing my heart. Now let's recall to our minds a kind deed by someone else, whether to you or others. If somebody gave you something or somebody was there at least to listen to you, a short moment of kindness. Let's rejoice. On this day, or in the past, if I have seen or heard of the kind deeds done by others, with their body, speech or mind, whether great or little, here before the Buddha, I call to mind those kind deeds and let my heart rejoice. I rejoice in the goodness of others, being always ready to praise kind people and follow their example. I rejoice in the goodness of others, appreciating that there are many good-hearted people in the world. I rejoice in the goodness of others, expressing gratitude for any kindness done. May the kind deeds of others bring safety and happiness to many living beings. May the kind deeds of others foster gratitude and fellowship among many living beings. May the kind deeds of others nurture goodness in me and many living beings. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
I really appreciate everyone's participation today. So nice to have you all. And I also want to thank Bante Mehta for single-handedly doing everything by himself. And thank you everyone for joining. And I look forward to see you soon. I'm coming back tomorrow. And those who will be joining the class on Friday night, we can see also.
And Bante, we are having our Vesak
Oh,
ceremony.
yes, Bante, this Sunday, right? This Sunday is a big day. Bante, we also need volunteers too. Yeah, this Sunday is a very important day. We are having our Vesak celebration and the peace walk together with other Buddhist organizations. So 3 p.m. we are gathering at North Side, in the North Avenue, in the North Side, in the Unitarian Church. We need some volunteers to, decorate the place. We are going to bring our flags. We need some volunteers to decorate the place. We also need people to help with the peace walk. Bante, if our people are willing, please get their names. So
Yeah.
we like you to be there. Maybe if you like to help us with the putting the flags in around the church in the north side, please, you can come around 2:30 because we start the ceremony at 3. So please help us in with that, and then we will have our peace walk. After we will have first the ceremony from 3 to 4, and then from 4 onwards we'll have the peace walk through the city to the Allegheny Landing. So of course you can be part of that nice peace walk there. We may need help with the decoration and also later cleaning up of the church. So really appreciate if you can help us with that.
And representing Pittsburgh Buddhist Center, you can participate. You have t-shirts, you can wear Pittsburgh Buddhist Center. And you can bring some flowers if you would like to participate to the peace walk.
Yeah, actually, you can. There'll be about 14 monastics joining the peace walk, so you can hand over flowers to them when they are walking. You can also follow behind them.
Or otherwise, you can bring a dog.
Yes. There's already a service dog who will work with us. But if we also have a dog, you can bring them too. Bring it too.
Okay, Bante. So let's conclude. Thank you, Bante.
Thank you. Welcome. See you all on Friday or Sunday.
Thank you. Thank you.